Hey, Dragan.
Hey, Basha.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks for being part of the 25 questions with our favourite public health expert.
That's right. Pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So, are you free to chat now?
Totally. Let's do it.
Fantastic. So, what is your role at the School of Public Health and Preventive Medicine?
So I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning here at the school, as well as the Head of the Medical Education Research and Quality Unit, also known as MERC.
Oh, well, fantastic. Describe MERC in 3 words.
So MERC is Education, Research and Quality.
Fantastic. And what does public health mean to you in 1 sentence?
So public health, to me, is looking at prevention, and prevention not only at not at an individual level, but at a population or public level.
The word translational medicine has been thrown around a lot. So what does translational medicine mean?
So translational medicine is probably the most difficult thing that we can do, but it's essentially translating the research that we have into clinical practice, into policy, into everyday life, I guess.
Fantastic. What does the epidemiologist do?
So I think of an epidemiologist as your detective, but the detective that works specifically in the field of health.
What area of research are you passionate about?
So I've got a couple of interests, one being men's health and the other being medical and health education research.
Oh, fantastic. We're looking forward to reading some of those papers. What area of teaching are you passionate about?
So I'm interested in a number of areas of teaching, but at the moment looking at specifically cost and value. So not only cost from a monetary point of view, but opportunities and what other people could be doing in that space. And then value. So how do students value the teaching that we do? How do the staff value the opportunities and the professional development that they get?
So define evidence-based medicine in 1 sentence.
Yep, so evidence-based medicine is the integration of evidence, whatever that may be, whether it be systematic reviews, RCTs, etc., along with clinical expertise from the clinician. And the third component, obviously the most important, is the patient value, so what the patient wants.
Why is EBM or evidence-based medicine important?
So evidence-based medicine, I guess, is really important because it allows us to make informed choices and informed decisions, which is obviously very, very important in the medical and health systems.
What are the 5 A's of EBM?
Yep. So the first is assess, so identifying what the information gap is. The second A is ask, so what is the question, and usually we use the PICO mnemonic to do that. The third is to acquire the information through searching the literature, whether it be Medline, Cochrane, any other databases. The fourth is appraise. So once we've acquired the information, we appraise it to see whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And the last is to apply it, so whether it be in policy or practice.
Fantastic. How can we best evaluate evidence-based medicine learning in our students?
So there's the formal and informal way. The informal way is what I like to call developing your BS meter, so being critical in the way that you read papers, view information. But more formally, we can assess it through tools such as the ACE tool. So it's a tool that we've created which assesses student competency and skills, knowledge, etc. in evidence-based practice.
The ACE tool, that's ACE.
It is ACE.
What does PICO stand for?
Yeah, so PICO is population, intervention, comparison, and outcome.
And have you ever PICO'd a research question?
I start all of my research with PICO. If you don't PICO it, you're going to be lost somewhere down the track, so strongly recommend PICOing.
And have you ever published a systematic review?
Yes, I've had the privilege to publish about a dozen or so systematic reviews.
What was the hardest part?
So the hardest part in terms of the systematic review process is working your way through the search results. So if it's a particularly large topic, like prostate cancer, I've just spent a lot of time, I'll put that nicely, going through 10,000 citations. So obviously very, very challenging.
But it's clearly valuable. So what's the most valuable part?
So The actual review itself is the sum and the collective of the review is the most valuable, I'd say. You can break it down to the PICO, searching, appraising the results, and then having the results, but actually using that evidence to inform policy and practice is really valuable.
That's so awesome. You don't have that publication handy, so I can have a
You know
read?
what? I think I do somewhere. Here we go.
Oh,
What are the
thanks.
chances?
Thanks, Dragan. I'll definitely pop that link up for the students. So I know you've really recently been away. You've just got back. How was the World Health Summit?
It was awesome. Really, really fantastic to meet a whole variety of people, academics, researchers and politicians.
So where was it held?
So this one was held in Portugal.
And how long did it go for?
So it went for 3 and a bit days.
And who attended?
So this is a unique conference in the sense that we've got researchers, politicians, students, industry, media, so the whole kit and caboodle.
And what was the highlight of from the program for you?
So for me personally, it was being able to meet the Portuguese Prime Minister.
Amazing. Did you get a chance to network?
I did. So one of the great things about going to the conferences is the opportunity to meet different people, and it's amazing how small the world is. You will be amazed how often those links that you make will come back to you in your career.
And how do you deal with working while travelling?
I struggle.
Okay.
Honestly.
Any tips to make that easier?
I'm a bit smart there. I struggle in terms of email, so I try and find where I've got time. I try and pick out small jobs that I can do. So emails are the most obvious. So whether you be on the plane, if you can afford the Wi-Fi, but most likely in the lounges between sessions.
Yeah.
Between dinner and whatnot is when you try and sort of knock off that stuff.
Oh, fantastic. Well, just one last question to finish it up. So
Yeah.
what is one skill that you would advise one of your many students to work on?
So it's a little bit left field, but reflection. So it's amazing if you can reflect upon where you're going, where you're headed, the strengths and the limitations that you have in terms of your knowledge and skills, whether it be now as an undergrad, as a postgrad, or in the future when you're in the working environment, the ability to step back and reflect upon who you are and where you're going, I think would be awesome.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Dragan. And
That's
thanks
right.
for the paper. I'll make sure to put the link up for the students. I'd better let you get back to all those emails.
Yes, I will do so.
Thanks,
Cheers, thanks,
bye.
Patricia.